Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Erica, and in today's video, I am taking part in Leanna Dalton's Beauty and the Soul Challenge. Now, Leanna started these challenges on Instagram back in January, and I've taken part in all but one just because life was kind of hectic during that challenge time. But my goal is to always take part in Leanna's challenges because they are so thought-provoking and awe-inspiring, and I really enjoy taking part in these challenges. And if you're not familiar with who Leanna is, I will have her YouTube channel and her Instagram page or account linked in my description box. I would be really surprised if you're not familiar with who she is. But if you're not, I highly recommend going and checking her out and subscribing and showing her a lot of love because she is just a magnificent person. She's one of my dearest friends, and I truly love Leanna. I really do. She is the whole package. You know, she's beautiful, she's intelligent, she's strong, she's savvy, she's hilarious. I just love her sense of humor so much. And she is someone who I've really turned to for a lot of different things in my life since I met her. You know, she's just very inspiring, very supportive, and just really blessed to call her my friend. So this challenge today is all about happiness. What truly makes me happy? Not just the standard things that you say when someone asks you what makes you happy, you know, like the sunrise or sunset or a walk on the beach. That sounds like a dating app ad. But what really makes me happy? And I have a list of things that I'm going to be talking about in today's video. But before I get there, I wanted to show you the palette that I'm going to be using in today's video. I thought I would create an eye look with a palette that truly makes me happy. And this is the Colored Raine Safari Rain palette. Now, Colored Raine did just recently release this again, which I was thrilled about because I got this with its first release and then it was gone. And I was like, oh, and I know a lot of people that really wanted to get this palette and was just happy that they re-released it again. I think this is gorgeous. I love the tones in here. I love the earthiness of it. There's some grunge in here, some vibrancy. I mean, it's just a really, really pretty palette. So when I was looking through my palettes here, this one just went, wah, and I'm like, okay, I'm using it today. And I've broken some things down that I'm going to be talking about in today's video about what really makes me happy. I have 5 internal things and 5 external things because I truly believe, and I've really started to really understand this as I've gotten older, is that happiness truly comes from within. I really do think that happiness, when you have it in here, makes your whole world better. I think it makes you a better person, not only amongst yourself, but also with the people and things around you. It just makes life a lot easier to live when you have that really deep soul happiness. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today when I put my eye look together. But before I get started here, I really do want to say a huge thank you to Leanna for putting together another amazing challenge. Okay, so I do have my brows done and both eyelids are primed in the P. Louise eyeshadow base in Rumor 01. I'm going to do both eyelids today. Shocker. I have glitter on my face too. I had some glitter on my desk here and I got it on my face. Oh well. So let's look at this beautiful palette here. I'm trying to decide, cat hair, what I'm going to do with this today. I think I want to do like the orange and browns are just really sticking out to me. So I'm going to start off with a shade here called Clay and put that in my transition area. And I do have a brush already ready to go here. And I'm going to start off by talking about 5 internal representations of happiness in my life. And some of this stuff's going to sound kind of frou-frou, kind of, you know, kumbaya, get your Bic lighters out and wave them back and forth. And I'm not trying to sound like that, but it's just, this is how I feel. So I just want to be honest. The first internal example of happiness for me is being my own best friend. And I used to hear people say that when I was younger, and I was like, okay, come on, like, really, you're your own best friend? Give me a break. But as I've become an adult and matured a little bit, I totally understand that reasoning or that concept. And I do want to be my own best friend. And what that means to me is treating myself just like I would treat my best friend. Being kind, being loving, being supportive, doing nice things for myself, and not feeling guilty about it. You know, I think that's a lot of times what women, especially moms, feel like is that, well, if I'm doing something just for me, it makes me feel guilty. I shouldn't be doing that. I should be doing something for somebody else. I should be taking care of everybody else. But the thing is you can't really take care of other people if you're not taking care of yourself. And that has become a huge part of my life now with myself, is just being my own best friend, being very loving and supportive of myself, and doing things for myself that lift me up, make me feel good. It's nice. I love it. And it's just something that I really try daily to provide myself with that kind of love and care and support, just for me, just me to me, that one-on-one that I have with myself. It's really important. And I wasn't always that way. And I've noticed that since I have become that way with myself, I'm much happier, and people enjoy being around me more. And this is a gorgeous kind of rusty orange shade. I love it. I love this palette, man. It's so much fun to play with. Oh, I was gonna go with the greens, and I thought, nah, let's do something different, because I do have a video coming up where I create a green and blue look. So I just thought, well, let's try something else. The second internal part of happiness for me is making myself a priority. I never used to put myself first, ever. I would put everybody else first. And, when my kids were younger, that made perfect sense. I wanted to put my kids first. I thought that was very important. I still think it's very important. And, I'm very proud of that part of my parenting, that I put my kids first, and that I was very dedicated to them, and sacrificed a lot of my own time and money and whatever to make their lives as good as I possibly could. Absolutely. I don't regret any of that. I'm very proud of that. But what can happen in the shuffle of all of that is that you lose yourself, and your identity just becomes mom, and I love that. I love that that's a part of my identity. Absolutely. It's not that I don't. But I also love that now that my children are adults, and I'll talk more about that here when I get to the external part, I now can make myself more of the priority. And I can really investigate and delve into the things that I love and enjoy. Makeup is one of those things, yes. And really focus on that. And not have it make me feel like, oh geez, I'm taking time away from this or that. And, I don't feel that anymore. I can do the things for myself that really make me feel good and happy, and I enjoy, and I have a passion for, because I'm able to now make myself really the priority. I mean, of course, my family is always going to be a huge priority in my life, my number one priority, but I am also my number one priority too. And that is a beautiful, beautiful aspect of my happiness now. It's wonderful. And I've learned a lot about myself too, which is crazy. You think you know yourself so well, and you got yourself all figured out. And I'm discovering that no, I'm learning about myself pretty much every day. And I love that. It's awesome. I love that. That is gorgeous. So now I'm going to deepen up the outer V, and I'm going to go to this shade here. And this is called Matriarch. Yeah, it is. And I'm going to put that, like I said, in my outer V. Yeah. Another really important, very important, extremely important part of my internal happiness is positive self-talk. That has been something I have struggled with my whole life, from childhood onward. Just this negative, yucky talk in my head about myself, to myself. If I would make a mistake, or I don't know, hurt someone's feelings, or I don't know, it didn't even have to be that heavy. Just anything that I felt I wasn't doing well, or perfect, or whatever, I would just absolutely destroy myself in my own head. Just say all these horrible, awful things to myself. And it was a really big problem when I was a teenager. And because of that, I got myself into some situations that I really wish I hadn't gotten myself into, just like bad friendships, bad boyfriend relationships, that kind of stuff. And I have really turned that around. I still, on occasion, will catch myself thinking negative things about myself in my head, especially if I'm at work and I make a mistake. I'm like, oh my God, you're so stupid. And, how could you do that? And, you just let everybody down. What the hell's the matter with you? But I will stop myself. I'll be like, nope, time out, blow the referee whistle. I'm not doing this to myself. I'm going to stop and understanding of myself, some grace and some understanding that I'm human and I'm going to make errors on occasion, and that it's not the end of the world. And, no one has lost their life here. No one, the building didn't explode, nothing, spontaneously caught on fire. Nobody's damaged here. It's just a mistake and it can be corrected. I think it is so important to talk nicely to myself. And like I said, give myself some grace and some understanding around certain things, and stop beating myself up over mistakes I've made in the past. I mean, it's over, it's done with. I think also what I've really come to understand is that mistakes aren't always horrible. They're not always the worst thing, because you learn from them. And I've learned a ton from my mistakes. I will say though that for a long time, I didn't really take heed of the things I'd learned, and I kept making the same mistake. But now I've gotten it figured out so that I won't do that anymore. That looks good, but this is, and I got an edge, so I'm gonna go back in with clay. Just blend the edge of that out there a little bit. I can honestly say that my speech to myself in my head now is much kinder, much softer, much more encouraging and loving than it used to be. And that goes back to, being my own best friend too. But I'm really proud of myself for turning that around. And it makes my attitude about life in general so much better now that I'm kinder to myself. It just does. It just makes me feel a lot better about life and myself and my place in life and all of that. It's just kind of all goes hand in hand with each other. And I'm just glad that I don't waste my time beating myself up anymore, because it's just an absolute waste of time. It's ridiculous. Another thing that is really important to me in terms of my own happiness and my internal happiness is spending time by myself. I was single for a long time, and I spent a lot of time by myself, and I got really used to that, and I really enjoyed it. And even though I'm married now, and I love to spend time with my husband, absolutely, I also really enjoy spending time on my own, whether I'm being quiet, whether I'm listening to really loud music, whether I'm taking a nap, whatever it is, doing my makeup. This has been a huge plus for me. This makeup channel stuff that I'm doing here has been a huge plus in that, spending time with myself, because I just need that. I need to be able to just have the time to kind of disconnect from other people, other things, and just really do what I want in the moment by myself. And, I used to feel kind of guilty for that, which I know, and I think about that now and I'm like, why? But I did. And I felt like, well, I shouldn't, I got a brush hair on my eyelid. I shouldn't be doing that. I should be spending all my time with my kids or this or that. And it's like, no, you do need to take care of, spend time on your own and do what you want to do, as often as you can, because it's important. It's really important. And I just, made a decision that that's something I was going to always do for myself, is to take that just dedicated time just to me and do whatever it is I feel like doing. If I'm just sitting on the couch staring off into space, then that's what I'm going to do. It's like the mornings that I film, when I, sit down here, film a video and spend this time doing this and then head off to work, I'm just like pepping my step and yeah, woo, I just love it. I just feel like I've connected with myself, kind of centered myself, and it feels awesome. And I get up really early in the morning, really early. And I don't have to, I choose to, because I want to film. And also it's just, I have to have this time to myself. I have to have it. It just really makes me so happy. I love it. And I really like how that looks. It blended out very nicely. So now I want to go into a couple shimmers, maybe 3. Should I do 3 shimmers today? I don't know. I think I am going to go ahead and do 3 shimmers. I think I'm going to use this one here called Green Valley, or wait, you know what? Actually, I think I'm going to use this one here called Amazon Basin. Then I'm going to use Tigress, and then I'm going to use Toucan. This is my favorite shimmer shade in this palette. I know you'd think it would be that one, but it's this one. I love it. So boop, boop, boop. Let me start off with this one here. I'm going to spray this a little bit. The last example of what really provides me with internal happiness is remembering that I am not perfect. I have struggled with being a perfectionist throughout my life, and it's gotten me nowhere. absolutely nowhere. It's brought a lot of stress into my life. It's brought a lot of, oops, I'm getting stuff all over. I put way too much shadow on the brush. It's brought a lot of negative self-talk into my head. It's made me feel less than. It's made me feel like I'm a failure. And I'm not a failure, and I'm not less than. And I'm not perfect, and I'm never going to be perfect. And when I hear people say things like, oh, you're perfect just the way you are, or you're perfectly imperfect, or whatever it is, I'm like, let's just take the word perfect out of it. You know, I don't want to be perfect. And maybe I am perfect just the way that I am. But at the same time, like, I want to be somebody that is growing and changing and learning. And I feel like if I say, well, I'm perfect just the way that I am, then that means there's no more growth or changing or learning, right? And I don't want to be that person that's just stagnant in myself. I want to learn. I want to change. Well, maybe not change. Change is hard for me, but I do want to learn and grow. Absolutely. So I guess that there is change in that, obviously. So I don't want to tell myself that I'm perfect in any way, shape, or form, any fashion. I'm not perfect. I don't want to be perfect. I'm not a robot. I'm a human being. Humans are messy. They're not perfect. And I love embracing the non-perfectness of me now. I love it. It makes me so happy to just let that I have to be perfect crap go, because it just doesn't work for me. It doesn't work. It just used to make me feel like I was walking around with ice cubes in my stomach. I remember that feeling. I remember talking to my mom about it once when I was younger. Like, I feel like I have ice in my stomach. And she's like, well, that's anxiety. That's what I would say it is. And I'm like, yeah, it is. It's just this anxious, yucky stuff brewing in my tummy. And I don't have that really at all anymore. At all. And oh, it's so great. I mean, I get it sometimes. I do get it sometimes, of course. Work is a big struggle with me with that, because I do want to be perfect at work. And I can't be perfect anywhere in my life, anywhere. And that's okay. I don't need to be. It's wonderful to know that, like, I don't have to be that perfect person anymore. I mean, that's just an ideal, an expectation that I set for myself that I'm never going to reach. And I'm going to spend all this time, waste all this time trying to get there, make myself miserable. And letting that go has made me so happy. Okay, so now I'm going to go into this shade here called Tigress and put that right next to that shade. And I think I'm going to use a different brush for that. I'm going to use this smaller brush. This one's a little bit easier to maneuver. These shimmers are really like, they're kind of chunky, but they're just so nice. They're that very buttery, thick, rich formula. I love it. So now I want to talk about some external things, because there are external things in my life that truly make me very happy, or that cause me to feel happiness. Well, they make me happy, but I definitely feel happiness when I think of these external things and talk about these things. And how I look at external happiness is that it's like the frosting on the cake of life, you know? These are things, people in my life that I am so blessed to have in my life, and that I just adore. And that another distinction here that I want to make is that I don't need these people. I don't have to have these people. I want to have these people. And that's huge. That's another real big part of happiness for me too. In my youth, I had this like desperation to have a relationship, or to have a friendship, or whatever it was. And that was not healthy, and it did not make me happy. Feeling that desperate, I have to have this in my life, or I'm going to be miserable, or I don't know. And that has gone poof, bye-bye. The first component of external happiness for me is makeup. I love makeup. It makes me happy. It really does. Or it brings a lot of happiness into my life. I love it. It's a huge passion of mine, and it's allowed me, like I mentioned earlier, to really connect with myself and to really enjoy this time just for me. And it's brought out a lot of my creativity that I didn't even realize I had. I mean, of course, there's a lot of other creative people here on this platform that are probably way more creative than I am, but still, from my level, I feel like I've seen a lot of creativity come out of me that I didn't think I had. And it's just such a wonderful, fun, positive part of my life. And I don't need to have it. I don't have to have it. I want to have it. I love it. And so happy that I fell in love with it, number one, and also that I started my channel. I mean, this is huge. And I know, like, yes, this is time that I'm spending by myself that makes me very happy, but having this channel has also brought so many awesome people into my life that I didn't have before, that I never thought I was going to have in my life. That's so cool. So as much as I'm alone in this, I also feel like I have this wonderful community, a tribe of people with me too. And I love that aspect of it. I love it. And yeah, this is kind of strange. So I am going to take this brush right here, the one that I put clay on my lids with, and just kind of go around and just kind of smush that down just a little bit so it's not quite so funky looking. I am really trying, though, to be conscious of taking my shimmers up above my crease because they're going to go up there anyway because I have really hooded eyes or deep set eyes or whatever. I don't know. So now I'm going to go into this shade here called Toucan and put that towards the front part of the lid. And I'm just going to clean off the brush that I put the Tigerish shade on with and put that, or use that to do that. The second part of my external happiness is my children. They are wonderful beings in my life and make me, or I guess, yeah, they do make me happy. I mean, I'm just going to say it. They make me happy. I just exude joy whenever I'm around them. I mean, sure, there are times when, like growing up, that I was like not feeling much joy because they do stuff like, leave their Legos out, I'd step on it or smart off to me or whatever, or, not call me when they were supposed to. But that's life, that's just life. That's part of being a parent. They're not always going to do everything that you want them to do when you want them to do it. But I really feel very blessed to have the children that I do because they're awesome. They really are. And I know I'm biased. I'm their mother. But I've always had a really great bond with both of them. And the thing that is so amazing about it now is that they're adults. And so now we can be friends. Now it's like all gravy, it's just the graviness of life. I don't have to discipline them really anymore or, tell them what to do or not to do. I mean, I will offer suggestions, but they don't always listen to me. And that's okay because they're of me, but they are not me. I have to remind myself of that quite often. They are of me, not me. And we were very close, all three of us, with one another and then with each other. And it's just awesome. It's awesome. Because when they were kids, they were growing up, yes, I wanted them to like me and love me and all that kind of stuff. But ultimately what I wanted and what I demanded is that they respected me. Like, this is my house and you're going to go by the rules and you're going to be kind. And, if you don't agree with something, you can definitely express that to me, of course, but you're going to be respectful about it. And for the most part, they were. But I was not their peer, I wasn't their buddy, I was their mother, and I expected them to see me that way. And now, because they're adults, I can be their buddy, and it's so fun, it's so wonderful to have the friendships that I have with my kids. They're really cool people. They really are. If they weren't my kids, I'd still want them in my life. You know what I mean? They're just fun. They're fun to be around. They're funny, they're loving, they're warm, they're kind, they're expressive. They're just really cool. And I really need to get both of them on my channel. My daughter's been on my channel before. Shane and I think are going to film together before she moves. I hope. That's our plan anyway. We'll see. I'm going to go back around with this brush. And I love that Toucan shade. Is that what that was called? Toucan? Yeah. I love it. It's gorgeous. We'll see. But I really do want to get my son on here. My son is hysterical. He is so funny. So funny. And of course, tied in with that is being a grandmother. I mean, being a grandmother is such a beautiful, wonderful, magical part of my life. I can't even put it into words. I really can't. And that's really the gravy part. I mean, really, because, I'm not raising him. I just get him for here and there, and he's happy for the most part. Every once in a while, he's kind of grumpy, but I don't care. He can be grumpy all he wants. Doesn't matter to me. He's just so wonderful to be around. But, like I said, I don't have the raising aspect of it. It's just fun. It's all love. It's all fun. It's just wonderful. And I knew I was going to love it, but I love it even more than I anticipated. And just to have that bond with my daughter so that I can have that bond with my grandson, it's really neat. It's really a cool thing. It's, I don't take it for granted at all. At all. And, it just brings me so much joy to be around my kids, to get phone calls, texts, whatever from them, hear how their life is going. The fact that they will reach out to me and ask me for advice, that is awesome too. I love that. They don't always follow my advice, like I said, but they do a pretty good job of it, I guess. I don't know, for the most part. But just the fact that we have that connection is just, it's great. Love it. So if you have little kids, just hang in there, because I'm telling you, as they become adults, it's a magical thing. It really is. I'm just going to go back in with this brush and what was that called? Matriarch, and just add a little bit of that back to kind of get rid of that weird edge from that shimmer shade. Just do this real quick here. So I'm going to do my lower lash lines now. I did clean up some stuff down here because I had a lot of fallout, but I cleaned that up, and I'm going to be using this concealer. This is the Essence Matte Concealer in 20 Light Ivory. I love this stuff. And I just use a little dabble D right here and right here, right here, and right here. Okay. And then I just kind of tap it out with my finger at first. Oh, there's some schmutz on my finger. Just kind of tap it out with my finger, and then I go in with a sponge. Another thing that's really cool about my kids is that they're very supportive of my YouTube channel. I love that about them. They're really supportive of that, and really supportive of just my love of makeup, and like me finding this passion in my life. And, because I put so much energy into being a mom, and kind of lose sight of what I wanted, not that what I wanted out of life. That's a little too heavy. That's not really true. But just kind of lost sight of like my own direction, I think, in some ways. They really want me to have something for myself now. And I think it's really cool that they're so supportive of my channel, and just, my love of makeup. And, my son even will ask me like, oh, what are you filming? And, what new makeup did you get? Or, it's just so funny. Or he'll hear about a makeup brand like from his girlfriend, and he'll say, do you know this brand, Mom? Do you know what this brand is? I'm like, yes, I do. And, of course, my daughter's very supportive too. And that's really neat. It's really neat to kind of like see it like kind of come full circle, like how supportive I was of them growing up, and how I was, the one that was like kind of the driving force of them. And now it's like turned around, and like they're like the driving force of me. It's just really neat. So I think I got that all figured out. Now I'm going to use this in my lower waterlines. This is another one from Beauty Creations, and this is in the shade Mango Tango. I just thought the orange would look cool today. And then the fourth aspect of my external happiness is being married to my soulmate, my best friend. And he and I both have talked about this a lot, and we actually said this to each other in our vows. We made our own vows, is that we don't have to have each other. We don't need to have each other. We want to have each other. And that's a huge difference in how both of us looked at relationships in the past. It's not this desperate, controlling, it's not like that at all. Whoops, I just dropped the lid on the floor. Oh well. We don't have that. It's like this just genuine want for each other to be in each other's lives, in our hearts. And I truly believe that my husband is my soulmate. He and my children and a handful of other people are the people in my life that I can truly be myself with. You know what I mean? Like, even in my yucky moments where I'm having a bad day, or I'm sad or angry or whatever, missing my mom, or I don't know. And I can just sit with him in quiet, and it's fine. It's wonderful. He gets me for who I am, inside and out, he really gets me, and I really get him. And he's always there for me, always there for me. And he's also someone who keeps me honest and keeps me in check. And he also is someone that I can really depend on. You know what I mean? I've never really had a romantic relationship with someone that I could really depend on, and who was really reliable, and someone that I knew like what to expect from. It was always this chaotic crap going on all the time. And he's not like that. He's very stable and very secure, and just a really neat person. And like our souls just like identify with each other, like I see him, he sees me, and we're just like, think. And to know that I have that now when I never thought I was ever going to have it. It's really awesome. And I didn't, honestly, I didn't really care. I was like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm fine. I'm totally fine by myself. And I still feel that way. I still feel like I'm totally fine by myself. Absolutely. But it is this wonderful bonus to have him in my life. It's wonderful. And, we have so much fun together. And it's just really easy. It's so easy, the relationship that he and I have together. So I think I am. Should I do green? I don't think so. I was going to do green on my lower lash lines, but I think that might look kind of strange. So I don't think I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to use Matriarch and Clay on the lower lash line. I'm going to pop this towards the outer part and that towards the inner part. And I will grab a brush. And it's funny because like he and I have that thing together where like I just know what he's thinking. Like if we're in a social situation and like someone might be kind of like obnoxious or something, like I can just look at him and know exactly what's going through his head, and he can do that for me. And then we just start laughing, and I don't know, it's just funny. We just have that really cool bond with each other. He is my best friend. He really is. And I'm lucky to have a best friend in myself so that I can have a best friend in my husband and also my kids. My kids are my best friends too. I mean, they're awesome. And that leads me to my last example or last aspect of external happiness, and that is friendship. Because I have some awesome friends in my life that I didn't always have. And I've learned to let go of the friendships that are no longer serving me, not wasting my time with people that really don't care, that really don't respect me. The people that are talking shit about me behind my back and, thinking I don't know and all that kind of stuff. Nope, I'm over that now. I don't have that in my life anymore. I refuse to have that in my life. I mean, I don't have any ill will towards anybody. But, once you see someone for their true colors, you just, it's like, nope, I'm just, vaya con Dios, I'm moving on. And I'm really happy to say that the friends that I have in my life now are just wonderful. They're trustworthy, they're loyal, they're people I can count on, and I want to provide the exact same traits to them. Absolutely. And I don't need to have these people in my life. I don't have to have these people in my life. I want to have them in my life. It's wonderful. And I've also learned that part of this whole thing too, in terms of my happiness, in terms of friendship, is that I do have to be a little guarded, because sometimes I think that, everybody's just my best friend, and no, they're not. And I love people. When I meet you, if we get along, I'm going to love you. And that's just how I am. I've always been that way. And I'm not going to change that. I don't want to change that. But what I will say is that I have been much more selective and much more careful and much less naive about things, much less naive about things. And, it used to kind of make me sad that I felt that way, that I couldn't just be all in with somebody. And now I'm like, well, that's okay. I'm sorry for making so much noise. I know. I hate that when I'm like digging around for my brushes. Now I'm going to go into clay and use this brush and just kind of put this towards the front and then kind of blow it out to the outer edge here. But, I just have some really awesome connections and really awesome communications with people. And there are people who are just very special to me. And their relationships I do not take for granted. I don't take relationships at all for granted anymore in my life, at all, period. I don't know that I ever really have done that, but maybe a little bit here and there. But, I just really am grateful for the friendships I've gained through, YouTube, through Instagram, through just my personal life, just people who have come into my life that I'm like, yeah, these are my peeps, and it does make me really happy to have those types of friendships in my life now, in comparison to the friendships that I had when I was younger, or even in my early adulthood, or actually, not even that long ago. I've gone through some friendship stuff not too long ago that I was just kind of like, okay, the external relationships that I have with people, husband, kids, friends, whatever, that does improve, and it does become more wonderful and more fulfilling, and brings about more joy and happiness when you have it in here first. If you don't have it in here first, it's not going to be real easy to have those great relationships with others. It really isn't. I think it's almost like when I was younger, when I didn't really take the time to really care for myself, it's like I would like almost seek out these negative people, is almost like mirroring how I felt about myself inside. I'd like go and find that out in the world, and I don't do that anymore. And if I see it, if I see that starting, I'm just like, I will just politely excuse myself. You know, I'm not a big confrontation type person. I'm not a big drama person. I can't stand it. So I won't really do that kind of stuff, but I'll just, you know, okay, just move on with my life. That's it. But I don't know. I feel really so awesome to have these great relationships with so many different people in my life now. I'm actually going to take this all the way over here. This is making me look sick. I feel like I'm just going to put this dark brown all the way across. I just feel really fortunate to have the relationship with myself now of joy and happiness so that I can exude that around me to other people. It's really important to me. And, you know, just looking back on my life and seeing where I am now, I'm proud of myself for it. I really am. It's cool. It's really cool. Alrighty, so I think I'm done with this look. I really like it. It does make me happy. I love that palette. Oh. So I'm gonna go off camera, do my rest of my face and my hair, and I will come back. This is the finished look. I love how this look turned out. This look makes me very happy. It really does. And I'm going to show you the palette again, talk to you about the shades that I used. But before I get there, let me show you just a few things I put on my face for my finished look. On my lips, I did use a MAC Bullet lipstick. This is in the shade Move Your Body. This came in a BoxyCharm. I love this lipstick. It feels really nice on the lips, and I love the shade, bringing back the 90s today with my lip shade. And then for my upper lid liner, I did use one I got from Temu in some PR. This is the Yankina 3D Waterproof Precision Liquid Eyeliner. I use this a ton. I love it. And then for my mascara, I grabbed the one from She Glam again. This is the Max Impact Extreme Volumizing Mascara. It's cheap. It works well. I like it. Okay, and also I did use a shade out of the Aurora Glow Kit from Anastasia Beverly Hills for my inner corner shade, and I also popped it underneath my brows, and it's this one right here. It's called Eclipse. It's just this really pretty light gold with a little bit of pink reflect to it. I just thought that would look nice today. I love this little palette. So much fun. So let's talk about the eyeshadow palette, Colored Raine Safari Rain palette. And I'm hoping this is still available on the Colored Raine website. I know they re-released this not long ago, but I have no idea. It may not be, it may be, I don't know. Let me know if you guys go and check it out. Let me know in the comment section if it's still available. But man, I love this palette. It does really make me happy. Just looking at it makes me happy. And the shades I use work so well. Matte shimmers, just the whole 9 yards. And I just think this is such a gorgeous color story. Really earthy and grungy. And so glad that I have this in my collection, and really happy that I saw it on my shelf and pulled it out today, because this just, like I said, makes me happy. And I really do want to say another huge thank you to Leanna Dalton for creating yet another amazing Beauty in the Soul challenge. I will have her channel and her Instagram page account linked in my description box. And I know I've already said this, but I really do encourage you guys, if you haven't yet familiarized yourself with Leanna, go do it. You're going to love her. I love her. She's a wonderful friend, and her mind is just a beautiful place. She comes up with so many awesome challenges here, and I just love that. I love it. And it's always such a wonderful honor and just a really lovely experience to take part in these challenges. And I would love to know what truly makes you happy in the comment section. I would love to chat about that with you. And I will say, just to kind of recap or summarize what I talked about, I'm just really glad that at this point in my life, I really do feel like I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life. And it's because I'm the happiest I've ever been with myself internally, like this inside soul stuff. I just finally got it all clicking. You know, I just feel really good about where I'm at, who I am, taking the time to make myself a priority, making myself my best friend, spending that time alone, talking to myself kindly and lovingly about myself in my own brain. You know, it's really important. And then to take that happiness I feel inside and exude it out into the world, and then have that happiness that comes with these amazing relationships that I now have in my life. Not that I have to have, not that I need to have. I'm not desperate for these relationships anymore. I want to have them. I choose to have them. And that's a huge difference, huge distinction there. And yeah, life just feels really good to me right now. You know, I'm a grandmother now, which is one of the most amazing roles I've ever had. I've got great relationships with both of my adult children. They're doing so great in their lives. I have an amazing marriage, wonderful friendship, soulmate situation with my spouse. And then just these awesome friends, awesome, amazing friendships. And also this wonderful love and passion for makeup. So I don't know, man. I just feel like I'm sitting in the gravy. Well, maybe that's kind of gross. The frosting, the cake frosting of life. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your lives to sit down and watch this video. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing, smash the like button, and of course, comment down below in the comment section. I love to chat with you guys there. And if you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I cannot wait to see you guys again on my next video. But in the meantime, please take very good care of yourself. Be well, safe, happy. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Drop it.